back for you. It's not easy. You kind of been doing good. So, yeah. I knew it wasn't coming. Was it? Yeah. I've got 9 o'clock, we'll call the meeting to order, start with the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call.
Lockwood.
Here.
Turtle.
Here. Here.
Easy.
Here.
Robertson.
Here. To approve agenda with the addition of, under executive session, the new personnel. Second. I have a motion and a second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Both same sign, motion passes. Any conflict of interest declarations? Hearing none, approved minutes from the February 3rd meeting. So moved. Right. I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Both same sign, motion passes. Any visitors to be heard that aren't on the agenda? Hearing none. We'll go to the bid opening, the 2026 asphalt surface treatment project. This one's from Economist Paving Incorporated, Minnesota. Sorry, did I pronounce it wrong? By 2 minutes. By 2 minutes, the materials. Bid bond. Their bid is $1,068,671.40. Is bond with that? Yep. This one's from Road Guy Construction. There's a bond. Their bid is $989,950. This one's from Aztec Corp. Bid bond. Their bid is $1,107,833. That's all for the asphalt. Yeah. I'll take it all, I'll something all.
So Brad will renew those with Alt, these guys from Altair, they'll review those. Bring them back at the next meeting. Give his recommendation. Now we've got the Frog Creek Road Culvert Project. Complete excavations. Oh, no, this is. This is different. This is for bid clean, or this is for culvert ditch cleaning road. This will be completely separate,
Okay,
I believe.
I wasn't sure which one it went with because I didn't really match any of the labels in our advertisements.
I think he just sends it to us. Didn't he do this last year?
Yeah.
I think it's Chaton.
Yep, using.
Just gives us a bit of what he's willing to do other work for.
Okay.
But let's just open, we don't have that on here, do we? Or is this materials bids?
They've got material bid.
I'll get the other material bids.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's this part right here.
Yeah,
So this is part of the asphalt. Bid on asphalt concrete, is that
that's materials.
materials? Okay. Just want to make sure we get everybody in the way. Okay, now we got one from Argo Excavating. Bid on. Okay, he's got a bid of $583,358. Earthworks Enterprises. Bid on. And we've got a bid of $453,224.35. Why is that construction? Why is it?
Say that again, please.
Loiza, Loiseau. It's like it sounds.
If you live in Louisiana.
A bid bond. Got a bid of $330,310.50.
Jackson said thought.
So it's correct. Pullman Excavating. $601,408.75. Bid bond. That's not on construction.
EX Civil. EX Civil.
A bid of $640,000 even. The bid bond. 3D digging and trucking. Got a bid of $641,587.10. And bid on. Alliance Construction. Got a bid of $831,688.59. Is a bid bond. Precision Dirt Work. Bid bond. A bid of $616,817.50. This is from 605 Companies. Got a bid bond. And a bid of $786,000, $607.25. Runge Enterprises. RUNGE from you. Got a bid bond. A bid of $647,037.37. LT Companies. Got a bid of $388,000. And a bid bond. This one's from Lieber Constructions. Construction, LIEBER. A bid of $514,214.26. Bid bonds in this envelope. It's in okay. Super construction. Got a bid bond. And a bid of $545,545.45. Yep. First rate excavate. Bid bond. A bid of $894,000. No, I do have one, so that's all for that project. Next. This is just.
Is that chip sale? Or that's your?
That's this one.
So what's gonna happen? I can take these back, I check them out, I'll send you a bid. Good Jeff. Oh. You didn't bid, did you bid?
I bid to somebody else.
Oh, okay, all right, okay. So everyone who submitted a bid automatically gets a bid tab. And then other people who, it's public, other people who ask, I said. Got your email on the back of that, but yeah, I'll just make sure. This week, so you bid, yes, that's all that. Yeah, we're fine. Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's, yeah.
Yeah. Already on the cold, and the cold, there's more than like 100, almost 190.
Now we've got bid openings for highway materials.
I'll get you.
This one's from complete excavation. Yep. So he's just got ditch cleaning, culverts, road repair, so hourly rates for a skid loader, $125, man and mini excavators, $145 an hour. Large excavator, $225 an hour, the mobilization fee of $400, side dump hourly is $145. Barclay asphalt. Hot mix, asphalt, half inch, loaded on your county trucks, so $90 a ton. And hot mix 3/8 loaded on county trucks is $105 a ton. Brent, is Barkley picked up in Sioux City? They've given it just
Yeah.
based on loading it on our trucks, so. What's that?
I don't remember ever using them.
Okay. They're out of Sioux City, that's
That's
what.
what you say, okay.
Then we've got White Cap. We got Duramelt at Duramelt 3405 at 70 cents a pound, Duramelt Mastic at 65 cents. And then Fleximat at 4 1/4 in Sioux Falls.
Correct.
Holloway Construction. Precast culverts, precast concrete box culverts and round culverts. Okay. 40-ton crane with operators, $450 an hour. 75-ton crane is $400 an hour. And there's a bunch more. This is for. I had the wrong envelopes. That was for crane work. This one says crane work, but I bet this is box culverts. I'm saying, same company.
And this says culverts on the bottom.
Yeah. There's no difference between these two bids with the same paperwork in each of them.
Oh, really?
So they didn't give us a concrete one.
Alright.
Yeah, this says culverts are gonna be in there, but they're both, I mean, the identical paperwork in both. And Michael, we have to treat it that way, right? We can't call them and say you missed, you put the wrong paperwork in.
That's correct.
I think you're correct. I'm gonna send these, I want you guys to look at them just in case there's, somebody else can see something. That's the same page.
Yeah, I was trying to see if any of these things that are listed in there.
It's cheating and loading that other, yeah, no. Nothing about box, nothing about box or about.
Sure. Just making sure it wasn't buried in one of the lists.
Yeah. Second one.
It's the same thing twice.
Yeah.
Just have stacks. Twice instead of doing the other one. Not a drastic, but. The honorable commission. It's not us.
Set that in time to work, we'll move on.
Put one back in one and one back in the other, there it is.
You see any difference, Glenn?
It's gotta be equal.
Oh. Okay. We got a hot mix bid. And so it's probably- Knife River. Madison Street asphalt, G1 and G2 are both $72 a ton. Yankton asphalt. D2 and D1. D2 asphalt 20%. RAP 58.28. $78 a ton, and the D1 asphalt is $78 a ton. One was from Madison Street, one was $78. Yankton. Butler Machinery. Bid for carbide inserts. It doesn't have what they go on, but there's cutting edge for $236. A edge AS at $246.49.
4-foot sections? Is that for trucks or what?
Should be for the.
4-foot 4x6 carbide inserts.
For the motor
They bids it every year for the trucks, but last year we bought a bunch of, haven't got into those yet, so.
Yeah, that's what they it should be
So.
lasting years now.
Yeah, pretty lucky.
Yeah, no
these last
snow.
few winters. Yes. Bid states, and this is road sealant, rubberized mastic sealant.
Measure money for your paper.
Save it late.
Is this one? Mid states. Road saver, 221 or 6.628 cents a pound. Mastic one leveling is 56 cents a pound. This one's from Rinker Materials. This is for culverts, 24-inch culvert per foot, $45.01. 72-inch culvert would be $292 and 62 cents a foot. Merle and Roy's pave. G1. $70 and G2 at 72. That's at Merle and Roy's plant. They put a ton limit on here at that price, so. Or it looks like they've set approximate quantity and the G1 at 50 ton and the G2 at 100 ton.
Sure.
How that aligns with what we've done. And that's it. I'll get back to the cheaper.
Did those, last few envelopes come back over?
It's probably come down. I don't know if it's still for state bed, right?
Usually the thing is back for enough.
Okay. Any questions on that video thing? Okay, is Rachel still on or bored asleep?
Hey there, how are you guys?
Good.
Rachel.
All right. On to the next boring topic, insurance, right? Okay, so can you guys see my screen?
Not yet. Yep, there we go.
Oh, sorry, you guys, I'll have to crank your necks. So we, as you know, from the last meeting, we went back to Mutual of Omaha and Principal to see, what they'd be willing to come down on. How we have this broken out here, this is an overview. We can absolutely go through each of these lines of coverage if you would like, but there were no changes to the actual quote plan details. It's more so just the pricing. And so what you're seeing here is an overview. The top section, this dental and vision, these are the employee paid lines of coverage. And the ones down here, the disability and life, are the employer paid. So we were able to get Mutual of Omaha to come down. They're sitting a lot closer to Equitable now. Principal, we have still not received revised quotes from them. So most likely a snooze you lose. They knew that we were meeting today. So, I was happy to see Mutual of Omaha come down on those employer paid lives. As a reminder, the Mutual of Omaha, why we see a deficit or a big gap here between Equitable and Mutual of Omaha is specifically with the vision. So when we look at the vision, and I'll just go larger here. We are looking at, let me turn this off. We are looking at a richer plan. So currently the copay, if somebody needs to get contact lenses or eyeglasses, they pay a $25 copay currently. Mutual of Omaha, they only pay $10. Where it's really a richer plan is with this frequency. So currently employees get they get a vision exam every 12 months. They get new eyeglass lenses or contact lenses every 12 months. And then they get that $150 frame allowance every 24 months. Whereas Mutual of Omaha, they're saying, hey, you still get your eye exam every 12 months. You still get your contact lenses or eyeglass lenses every 12 months. But we're going to give you that $150 frame allowance every single year. So every 12 months. So that's where that pricing discrepancy comes in, is it is a richer plan than what employees currently have. The last piece is it is a network change, which we talked about last time. Carrie didn't think that that would be too much of a disruption for people. So really that's the difference on that vision plan. The one thing as well with dental, the rates are a little bit higher. I do want to caution you or think about as you're making this decision, again, as a reminder, I don't have a lot of business with Equitable. I cannot speak to them as being a good service contact for Carrie. They are a Midwest company, so they tout themselves on having Midwest service. But again, I can't speak to that. I get a little bit nervous when carriers come in, 14% or more over current in that they could be buying business. We are seeing year over year increases in the dental market, trend is closer to 8 to 9%. So that is the one caution I will have with Equitable is, we want to make sure that people aren't buying your business and we're getting in the habit of quoting every 2 years and creating disruption for the members. So I will go back to this overview. Do you guys have any questions for me? So what we're looking at here, is your annual total premium. And again, these are the employer paid lines at the bottom. And then the change over premium. So with Principal, you'd be saving $2,044. And again, this is assuming no changes to the enrollment and status quo. Mutual of Omaha, you'd be saving $9,129. Equitable, you'd be saving $10,852. And again, those are the employer paid lines. Up here would be the employee paid lines and the savings associated with that.
So it looks like Rachel, Mutual of Omaha is kind of the better way to go.
That would be my recommendation. Again, our Mutual of Omaha team, we have a very strong relationship. I can easily text them, call them, email them. We get very quick responses. Equitable, we're obviously less familiar with. So, I've heard from my colleagues that Equitable is a good carrier. Otherwise, we wouldn't have quoted them. If we didn't hear positive things. I just personally don't have experience with them. I know that service and billing was the main concerns for Carrie, or the biggest pain points, I should say. Mutual of Omaha, I haven't seen that from them. So I think the good thing, the positive part with Mutual of Omaha, yes, employees aren't necessarily saving as much money, but they are seeing savings with the change. So overall, it's a positive message for employees.
Anybody here have dental vision?
I do.
Scott, you do? Wayne, do you have dental vision with us?
I do not. I know I have some that do.
What's your thoughts?
I wasn't listening.
So, and that's how, come to the front of the room.
It's against the wall.
You two are gonna be a problem back there.
So it's essentially, it seems like it breaks down to that.
It's the premium. We've had Rachel for how long doing this? She doesn't know anything about Equitable enough to recommend them. Now they are cheaper.
So we're looking at the employee savings up here. So whether we went with mutual or equitable, there'd be a savings on the employee premiums. But you get additional savings if you go with equitable, but maybe it's a little bit more of a risk. I think that mutual has a stronger recommendation.
Do we have mutual now?
No, we're
Take
gonna,
the principal
Principal, yeah.
or the standard, I'm sorry.
The standard.
And the standard has not been great for us, service wise, you know, they've been okay for the coverage. But it's the billing and like the customer service side of it that it just has not been good at all. So.
And I've been doing this for 8 years. And I can tell, you know, Equitable just isn't one of my top 10 carriers. So I just want to be full disclosure with you guys that, you know, we're going to be kind of in uncharted waters together. So to me, is it worth, you know, saving a couple $1,000s to, you know, kind of be the newbie and the guinea pig? That's just kind of my opinion.
the only thing I did in the last couple of weeks was kind of played Dr. Google and went out and checked the reviews on each, and both of them were pretty much neck and neck with what I saw. But if there's a familiarity with who you have to deal with, I'm like, always nice to save a little money, but at what expense?
I think they'd be willing to pay a little bit extra if they know the service is gonna be
Yeah.
better. You know,
I'll make a motion that we go with.
Well, it'll be less than they've been paying.
that's
Yes.
better deal.
Yeah, it's
It's
gonna be
just how much
less, it's just at what rate, what risk level do we take?
Yeah, I think the ones that I know have it, I think the only one I have is one of my older employees. And they use insurance more, so I think they would be willing to pay a little bit extra for better services.
Responsiveness.
Mhm.
Let's go pay. Is anybody opposed to mutual? I move that we accept the proposal from mutual. Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Is that all you needed, Rachel? Was that motion or?
That's it. Thank you, guys.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes.
Side rated Wild Kingdom, so.
Win-win.
But Jim isn't around anymore to save us.
Yeah.
There's no Jim.
He's the ones having like great career.
Okay. Tim, are you still on?
I am.
The Tim's with the Clay County Historical Society, correct?
It's the Clay County Historic Preservation Commission, which is different than the Historical Society.
can't get it straight, yep.
So
Yeah.
Tim's here to introduce a nominee for their board.
Yeah, we have a vacancy on our board and we'd like to nominate Mitchell Morris to fill that vacancy. You probably all know or are familiar with Mitchell. He runs the Morris Farm and Market, vegetable farm and market down at on the other side of the river south of town on Dakota Street. He's a native of Clay County, went to Vermillion High School, USD, was on I think he was the clerk of Vermillion Township for 2 decades and was on the Bluffview Cemetery Board for 20 years. So anyway, we think he's a good guy, a lot of interest in the county, and he's been at some of our meetings and shows a lot of interest in what we're doing. So we'd like to nominate him.
I'll entertain a motion.
I move to approve the nomination of Mitchell Morris to the CCHPC.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you. Brent, bid award for structure 14-103-090.
Bowman.
That's who getting the number. Only next meeting. What was that bid?
148, 951, 55.
That was the low bidder, is that correct? I'll entertain a motion to accept that bid.
So, second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Remaining RAFE grant funds.
I got a hold of Andrew Peterson, Meltap, and he checked into it. He said we basically have to do it just like we normally do, have to go through the whole process. we just can't award it to just somebody,
Okay.
so.
So now with that conversation we had last meeting a couple weeks ago, we just need to have that on the front of our mind as we go into the fall so that we can inform the townships of what's left in this funding, and then they can submit an application if we meet those deadlines.
So we're under the same award by January 15th.
Yeah, there's deadlines in October that they have to meet. There's applications that need to be filed, or at least even if we're, I don't think there's anything wrong with allowing them to rely on a previous application. They would just need to essentially be telling us that they would like us to consider their previous application in this upcoming bid cycle.
And yeah, and I think we'd want to give anyone the opportunity to provide something different if they got something that's more aligned with the scale of what we've got left here. And I think probably we should think about what sort of criteria we're gonna prioritize when we look through those, you know, are we gonna say we wait more if somebody pitches in more, you know, if they're gonna match bigger, or by need, or by who's gotten money in the past? So,
Well, currently,
just make sure we're thinking about that ahead of time.
currently, we're not receiving any new funds, correct? So we only have the 24,000 to deal with, right? Yeah, so that's. They're gonna have to come up with something.
Yeah.
And there is that statute on the books that I cited to. It enumerates a handful of factors that the commission has to consider, but it also gives discretion for how much weight you give those, as well as if there's other factors you'd like to consider. So on Jeffrey's point, you just need to make it known prior to the application process what if anything additional to statutory language this board would like to consider, inside of that application process. So a conversation we'll need to have this summer to ensure that townships are put on notice if this commission would like to essentially utilize the rest of the funds that are sitting in the RAIF account today.
There was a bill that was working through to try to claw back unused funds and put it back in the pool for redistribution. Does anybody know where that's at? It wasn't getting any traction.
I don't know if it's died yet, but it makes too much sense, so
Yeah.
that won't, that has no business in Pierre.
Can't we just split it both ways?
Well, you have to be funding a project, so they have to do a project in order for it to fall.
About enough for a pizza party.
Yeah, everybody else 2,000.
Might have half a load of gravel.
You got those deadlines from Michael for that. Would you mind trying to keep track of that on your calendars a little bit so that we
I
don't.
think that first deadline, October 31st or something, I believe.
I sent it it looks like it's October. Well, August 31st, local agencies must submit 5-year small improvement plans to their county. October 31st, they must submit funding applications.
Okay.
I sent an email to the commission with some information. I'll just forward it on to you.
Okay.
And just trying to help shepherd them through it a little bit,
Yeah.
make sure everybody be considering it, it's a real small pool.
Okay. Will do.
Thank you.
Favorite equipment purchase.
I've been doing some thinking on this, and with everything going on and all these projects and stuff, I think we're put on hold. Hold for next bet. You
What
want
are your
to limp
numbers?
along with your old one too. So, yep, I think that'd be the best bet for now, because it's still got, hopefully last they were saying is bid letting hopefully go out another month or two for Dakota and Dawson, so who knows what prices those will come in at, so. I don't want to get overextended.
Haver's cheaper this year, imagine how cheap it's gonna be next year.
Right, let's just hope we keep going down. So, but yeah, I think that'd be the best bet.
What were your hours on it? Did you check that?
Yeah, it's a little over 1,600.
How old's your combine, Travis?
Just got it.
3 years. 3 years. You don't like you guys then, right?
No, because it needs to go down the road too.
But you're not gonna get a new one this year, are you?
No.
No.
Nope. So then we've got the agribusiness grant agreement, we've got to table that, both out of the office until next Monday, always up till next week. We gotta, oh, I need a
We need a
motion.
I'll move to table the grant agreement for agribusiness till next meeting.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
My only question would be, so Paula will be attending the next meeting.
Like to talk to her, so we'll see if she can make.
Okay, so we'll try to get her here.
We'll
And
get
then,
those questions answered.
okay, yeah, because I went back there to try to figure out some of the ones that I was wondering about. I think that.
The email said we need turn lanes now.
Yeah.
That's a definite, but I need to ask her about if we concrete it or don't concrete it.
And whether 456 is included, because that isn't listed on there anyway.
Yep, so those two questions are.
And then there's just some, so I've now seen enough state contracts, I'm not surprised at all. So they define project up at the top, and then they use it several different ways throughout the document. So just making sure that there's clarity that the 600,000 is just the state's contribution for 313 and 456, that's not a cap that includes the turning lanes. And then the turning lanes is in addition, and they don't put on there any cap on the amount they're gonna pitch in for that or an estimate for what the cost of the turning lanes is. And so clarity on whether, I think, just high level clarity on what the $2.2 million price tag is, because that's like $1 million over what we saw the first time, and it's
Right.
at least 500,000 over anything we've seen before, and whether that includes the turn lanes or not. So just making sure we get all that. Because all of that is vague in there. I think that was all the ones that I think that at one point they said turn lanes were like 440. Yep. But just make sure that that's still what they think and that is.
Well, that's our engineer, it's Soltech that's doing that, so they'll have no idea. They're just gonna go off our.
Yeah. And do we have anything in writing or verbally with Southeast Co-op that they are not pitching in for anything?
We don't have anything in writing, no.
Okay, because that was, brought it up a couple times in there, but the way the state proposed this, they said that the normal method for paying for those turn lanes would be the county pays for a third, the state pays for a third, and the developer pays for a third. And so in all of the documents we've been considering this year, we've had the county paying 2/3 and the state paying 1/3. So I would really appreciate, especially as these prices seem like they might be going up, some discussion with them on whether they'd be willing to pitch in that third or contribute in another way to the cost of 313 or 4.
That's not required by the state though.
The state, the way they wrote this up, the county's paying 2/3, but the
I
state-
see that, I read it, it's right here.
Now, I'm saying that on behalf of our constituents, when the state says that's the normal way it's paid for, I think that we should at least make that ask. That's $150,000 of taxpayer money that,
I done the math too.
Yeah.
I can read it.
so do you agree that that's something we should ask the developers to pitch in?
Not necessarily, no.
Okay,
How much have they spent building that place out there?
well. I guess we're entitled to different opinions about that. So I think that they said it would be $5 million.
How much good has that done?
Well, it's costing us a lot in road improvements. So it's doing a lot of goods, but it's also costing us.
How
a lot.
much are we saving in the rest of the county?
I don't think that we have any reason to expect that moving traffic is necessarily going to be savings. Right now, we have changed the traffic patterns in the county, but we haven't made less traffic if people were.
Yes, we have.
one way.
Yes,
We
we have.
were saving our blacktops that were, they were running green elsewhere.
You may be correct, but I don't think that that's something a person can say just standing at a table. That's something you'd have to do a traffic study to see.
And I was gonna bring this up, and if we had this discussion. When did this kind of come into play that the DOT decided that we need turning lanes here? Because as I was driving to Yankton, I was thinking about, I got rear-ended years ago trying to turn into Toby's. But there's there's nothing there, there's nothing at Freeburg's. When did this become such an issue with traffic there? Because somebody's going in and out of Freeburg's quite a bit too. I question the whole need for this compared to other things I see along 50 between here and Yankton, I guess. But that was just a thought I had going to Yankton, and I kept spinning in my mind. But I don't know if this is a new statute that the state's requiring, or
So
where this all came from.
It's the volume of trucks. Freeburg might have
half a dozen a day. Travis, did you ever hear I heard between 2.5 and 3 million of that, just the corn pile, right?
Yeah, they, at full capacity, they were thinking 8,000 trucks in, 8,000 trucks in.
I just did the corn and I came up with, at 2.5 million, I came up with 1,875 truck loads. So, and the thing is about the traffic part, yes, there's traffic bringing it to that elevator, but when it leaves, it's all on Highway 50, every pound. So you got to think of it as what we're saving, and that's not talking about soybeans. So you can figure another third of that number, maybe a fourth. So
Now, is that going to be acceptable with the state's requirements? Because I thought they wanted all the traffic coming in and out of the same, did they want the traffic to come? I thought they wanted to close one of them.
That's up to them if they were gonna close that median. The railroad would really like to close that crossing to the west, but haven't had that discussion yet. We have a motion in a second, right? Any further? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those same sign, motion passes. Fuel quote for the Vermillion shop.
Ball and oil came in the lowest at 2.146.
Move to approve all in oil is a little bitter.
Second. A motion and a second, any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those same sign, motion passes. Diesel quote for the Wakanda shop.
Jerry's came in the cheapest at 269. Now it's 50/50, and hopefully that'll be the last time this year we're gonna do that, so. Yeah.
Much cheaper than the other one. The dubs that are making this, the
Moved
majority
to
think
approve a
so.
little bit.
Second. Motion and a second, any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those same sign, motion passes. Propane quotes,
TLC, propane on Yankton came in at 132.
is this for the Vermillion or you first?
The new Honda.
Wakanda.
Approve TLC propane for a little bit.
Second. Motion and a second, any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those same sign, motion passes. Anything else, Brent?
I was gonna let you guys know I'm gonna be gone next week, going on vacation away for celebrate our 25th anniversary.
Congratulations. Hopefully warm.
Yeah, go to Mexico, so.
Awesome.
Would be a good time. Neither one of us are in the ocean, so,
Oh, nice.
so hopefully no sharks.
Well, it's just thick with them. Nothing to sharks, yeah, watch out.
So.
Did she get you a return flight or you just?
Oh, fun.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You're gonna be at the meeting at one?
Yep. See you everyone. Thank you guys. Have a good
See you,
day.
Rick.
Yep.
Rhonda? Resolution for to close the office for new location.
Yes, yes, we're supposedly moving into our new space on, March 5th and 6th. We have IT scheduled, they figure it'll take them about 12 hours to tear us down and set us back up again in the new space. So, we'd like to close for the 5th and the 6th and help them move our stuff across and get set up. And then open for business in the new office on Monday the 9th.
All right, that sounds good.
To approve resolution 2026-07.
Second. I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Mochler,
Yes.
Graylow,
Yes.
Brady.
Aye.
Teasy,
Yes.
Gilbertson.
Yes.
Motion passes. Anything else, Ron?
No, that's it.
Scott?
I got a couple contracts there.
Yep.
For this, fire alarm system, LEC, one's for monitoring it. And then the other one is for the annual service loads, which is required by code to have a contractor come in and check it out. So, anyway, I brought that to your attention for a signature. Obviously, we're covered here till about October. Our warranty.
That's 1804.
What's that?
1804 is what I'm saying, annually.
Honestly, I didn't bring my paperwork.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I think is the. There's two here.
I moved to approve the commissioner sign, or the chair sign this.
And these are just duplicated, right?
Because there's two for 1804. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's in there twice, to be honest.
Okay. A second.
A motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Both same sign. Motion passes.
And then is there a separate ongoing monitoring?
There should be.
There's a monitoring
yeah.
agreement.
Yeah. Okay, but I didn't get a price in this.
For some reason, they dated it September 1st, 2025. For the contract.
Or. Or is that ongoing and existing? Have they been monitoring it? Since,
Well, they've been monitoring since
so maybe
yeah.
this is already paid and they just have this in here for reference?
I'd have to look at it. See, yeah, I don't recall.
It says,
But it appeared to be further monitoring, is the way I had read it. Just a continuation, right? Daily.
I think that's September 2025. That's when they started monitoring it here, I believe.
that's for here.
Yeah.
These are both for here, right?
Yep.
I think the other one is for the new. For the old
Oh.
LAC, sorry. Okay.
No, 1250 standard, so yeah.
You're right, though, it is dated September.
Something we need to.
But if that's when it started.
I mean, when Travis signs it, you can date it today.
And that doesn't seem to have a price on it, is it?
I didn't see one.
Even reading it, it says you agree to the terms and conditions, you agree that they're not insurers. That's what you're signing to. You're signing to the terms and conditions and that they're not insurers. And I don't see anywhere on here where there's a price annotated.
Just that ABC up above in the letter portion, it's 1804 on the bottom of that one page.
But that was for the maintenance agreement.
And there's also testing. Full monitoring.
We need to table this until we get a correct piece of paper. There's not a separate price for the monitoring on there?
I don't see a price on it.
Okay. I'll check my paperwork. I thought there was.
It just
Did
says
it-
test remote monitoring. It doesn't say remote monitoring. That is potentially. Improper wording or maybe, I don't know. Check it and see. This is that one.
I'll entertain a motion to table that one.
I moved to table it for clarification.
A motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Same sign. Motion passes. Anything else, Scott?
No.
Okay, Wayne?
You should have a contract agreement in there from the state This is so we can actually get paid for the EMPG money from, it's supposed to have been paid like 6 months ago.
Is this the one where they just wanted to give us more money,
Well,
like an
no.
additional 6,000 or? That's WIC.
That's like.
That's the big one, never mind.
No, there is no additional money. It's the fact that the feds have finally released this money
Okay.
or that money.
This is like, there's 15 pages of federal things that we're agreeing to, it seemed like, it was all I could find. Yeah.
I move to approve.
Second,
Yeah, a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those same sign, motion passed.
Say, we'll give you some money.
59, Article 63 articles.
Yeah, I got some.
64, okay. Well, there's another one. Yep, you're right. Oh, that's the rescission of Article 63. Yeah.
So Andy, we've got your Bonham County Jail agreement. That's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, it's our standard agreement with our 2026 pricing. So we are holding one of theirs now. I think that we might see more of that.
Move to approve or authorize signature on the agreement for adult detention with Bonham County.
Second. A motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those same sign, motion passes.
Is that the last of the local contracts that you're looking at right now?
Yeah, I don't expect any more from surrounding counties, at least not right now. We're working on the marshals right now, so making some headway on that now. So hopefully, for too long, we'll have that going.
Okay. Did you end up reaching out to Nebraska and seeing if they're?
I haven't reached out to Nebraska. I should do that. I know that Nebraska counties tend to go to Pender. That's where we used to go.
Okay.
So I don't know, we'd have to.
I was like, I guess they have to have a cop over there if they're gonna put anybody in jail, so I don't think we do.
So Michael, you've got an advertisement.
Yeah, it's just really giving notice to the commission and then also the public, I guess, through this conversation, two things. Originally, we thought we were gonna actually vacate our current space so that they could start phase 2 of the courthouse project, which is all above my space, are gonna be in our office working on the plumbing above us. We thought in order to, from the first conversation I had with Lloyd, that seemed like a 2-week disruption. I had talked to Andy, it seemed like we were gonna temporarily move over here. Fortunately, I don't have any court obligations between now and the beginning of March. So it's a good timing for us, which we squared up with Lloyd intentionally. But from a conversation late Thursday afternoon last week, it seems like now the plan is going to be, rather than vacating, like working on vacating this Friday, the 20th, now we're going to probably start that process the 23rd or 24th. I'll probably just not have nobody will be inside my office. We'll be working remotely, which is possible given the fact we don't have court. And it sounds like now we're looking at probably being able to get into that office space by Friday the 27th. So it's a change from what's advertised on the agenda. My office will be open through this entire week. It'll probably be open Monday the 23rd. At some point, it's going to close and we're all going to go home and work remotely once they have to be working in our space and above us. And then we're aiming at kind of getting into the new office by the 27th, and the fire marshal, it sounds like, is given the green light that we can move in even without the sprinkler system being functional. But Lloyd anticipates all the furniture being constructed and that those spaces being, workable by the end of next week. So I don't need a resolution pursuant to state law. I'm not an office that needs a resolution from the commission on closing an office. And again, without having court, we're just going to be working remotely and monitoring phones. So just giving an FYI. On that note, I guess I could have said this earlier, I guess, and visitors to be heard, but I'll let you know now, part of this process, I've been working through old warrants. This has been done before by me and even by my predecessor, but I've looked at anything 15 years and older. I've probably dismissed about 20 cases in the last 2 weeks, maybe 15 to 20 cases. in the last 2 weeks, the newspaper publishes all the case dispositions. These are cases that are not provable anymore, for one reason or the other. Oftentimes, it's, officer unavailability. I've found defendants who are now deceased, from 25-year-old cases. I've got a bunch of DUIs from the 90s. I've got a burglary from the 70s. I've got a good handful of insufficient funds checks cases from the early thousands. That I'm just getting rid of. These cases aren't viable anymore, and now's the best time to get rid of them, so we don't have to move them with us. So if you get people, from the community saying, what's going on with the state's attorney, that's what's going on.
He's
We're
going
going
soft.
Yeah, I'm soft. I'm soft, and if I can find some more time this week, I'm gonna keep doing it. So there might even be a handful more that come out this week that are dismissed. So
Thanks for doing that backlog work. It's good.
yeah, absolutely.
That it, Michael?
That's it.
Okay. Carrie, you've got, had a combined election agreement with Beersford School District.
Yeah, we have not done this with Beersford before, but we do every year with Vermillion School Districts. It's just advantageous, I guess, for both of us. They get a better voter turnout. We get a little bit of cost share in the election.
So their polling place would be the experimental station up there. Yep.
Yes.
And it'll be aligned with ours.
Yeah.
Sounds great.
Is there a bill going through here right now that's gonna make the school districts do it?
It already passed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it already passed last legislative session.
So they have to do it anyway, right?
They have to have their election
The same.
on the same day. They don't necessarily have to combine it,
Uh,
but I mean, it
Why
just
not?
makes sense.
Yeah, you get more turnout, save some money.
So we should probably be looking into getting Centerville, Irene to Gayville.
The school districts have the choice.
Okay.
Beersford was the only one aside from Vermillion, that expressed interest, so.
Okay.
Move to authorize signature on the combined election agreement with Beersford School District.
That's for Carrie and you guys as well.
Yeah, Carrie's got to sign it too.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Both same sign. Motion passes. Lisa poll pads from No Ink with HAVA grant funds.
Pads, yes. So this is kind of the way that things are sort of moving for the future. Several counties have been doing this for a while now, and it's working out really, really well for them. So poll pads are essentially the check-in system for elections. They're gonna replace the paper poll book that we use. I have been mildly interested in this for a few years, and I say mildly only because there was a cost with it. And they weren't previously something that we could use grant money for. We can now. We have grant money available for the entire amount of the lease. And then it will now be an ongoing thing that we can use those have the money for in the future.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Do they come in and set them up and they go down?
Yeah,
That's part of that.
So it'll be something that I will do, as part of my normal election setup, but. Of course, the first year they'll get in and train us and get them set up and everything, so.
Yeah, I was trying to remember, I saw the knowing folks were up at one of the county conventions last year, and I spent some time playing with them, and they're pretty neat. I was having trouble remembering but I felt like there were some real efficiency advantages, but then also just sort of like data cleanliness advantages and things like that. I think updating in real time seemed like it was pretty.
It makes things easier for the poll workers too. I believe they can just scan the driver's license and then it'll print out the voter, instead of having to flip through the book, and it's just a faster, more efficient. Some of the other counties that have been doing it for a few years now are reporting that their poll workers love them, even the older poll workers like the technology.
I think poll worker retention and recruitment is probably not the easiest thing right now, so if we can make it a little
It's always
easier.
a challenge.
So is this gonna have people voting on an iPad then?
No,
No, okay.
no,
Check
they
it
will
in.
still have their paper ballot. This just checks them in that they have
Oh.
voted and we're able to pull off the report for that, so.
I was just trying to figure out how much blowback price for.
Right, yeah, there you go.
Yankton County has been doing it. They love it. Some of the bigger counties. So,
Software updates, every year.
so it's a 3-year lease. So then they'll bring us new ones at the end of 3 years, which is nice because then we don't have to worry about outdated technology.
So we'll have it for this year then?
Yes.
Okay. So we'll get to use it for 2 elections and then. Yep. Wishes of the board?
I think especially because grant funds are available to assist with this cost, I think it seems like a good idea.
I move to approve the lease of poll pads from knowing of the grant funds.
Second. A motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion passes. Approve amendment to the current WIC contract, add $6,000 in county reimbursement from the state of South Dakota.
I move to approve accepting an additional $6,000.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
It didn't appear that they were asking anything of us for this except for a signature, right?
Right. Yeah, they'll send that cobblestone link to you, Travis, for the signature.
That's my next question. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion passes. Approve South Dakota Public Assurance Alliance intergovernmental contract.
Periodically, the SDPAA updates their contract language and it seems like this is just one of those things.
This is for, this is for liability and property insurance.
Right.
Just-
I just wondered, Michael, did you review this one? Is there?
I reviewed it, but I don't see where they're necessarily articulating changes, and I prefer when they make it known what they've changed, but I've looked through it, it looks standard, I mean, it looks like it's still well within, what I would expect this contract to look like. It's just hard to kind of see what modifications they've made to it.
Just those 2 bullet points on the first page. There's addition of language to Article 5, which serves to clarify that no member shall have more than 1 representative serving on the board at any time. It's consistent with the intent of IGC as previously written, and reformatting of content for Article 9, moving the notice rescinding paragraph to the top of the section. Relocation of this paragraph does not change or alter the prior version's language nor intent.
It's pretty innocuous to me. I have moved to authorize the signature on these updates.
And I see that now, it looks like it's I just read the contract, I didn't look at the cover page.
The letter, yes.
I'd second.
A motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion passes.
Motion to go in ditch board.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion passes. On the ditch board. Got to approve an invoice from Oltec for $2,706.50.
So moved. Second.
A motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion passes.
Motion to come out of ditch board. Second.
A motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign, we're in regular session. Vouchers, did we have any?
Yes.
They're in the packet.
We got the budget blinds.
I was wondering that too.
The budget lines.
The blinds.
Budget blinds.
There's some
Oh, budget blinds.
big price tag on some blinds in there.
For the new
Wasn't my
space.
project, was it?
Could have been here, or no? Was that for here, Andy?
It might be for the new space.
I don't have window, only that are.
Yeah.
Other windows maybe. I don't
Yeah,
know.
it could be from my side. too.
$9,000, I think.
I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't-
Scott's not here, he would have sent that one through.
That's funny, that caught your eye too, Glenn, that was. Scrolling through, that was a
I think we have bought blinds from them before, though. I remember.
If those are the budget blinds, how much are the expensive ones?
Your thing should have been in our, in the
You would be surprised, I mean,
Right.
for an office
I
like
mean, I haven't
mine, I
been
think it's about
contacted if they're
$1,000
in or
per
anything.
window.
But you have a
It's
10-foot window too.
true, these could be for the court area too, I don't. I said Scott would have approved that and sent it through, so.
Yeah, it's on the building improvements.
Any further discussion on vouchers? I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Move to pay the vouchers.
Second. Motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Same sign, motion passes. Monthly reports were included in the packet. And it looks like we're down to executive session for legal and personnel matters. So. We'll entertain a motion to go into executive session.
Move to go in executive session
I need you to cite to the reason why, though. I know it's.
for legal matters for SDCL 1-25-2.
Personnel.
And personnel.
Subsection,
Subsection 1 and subsection. Oh, personnel, yeah, I forgot that.
So I have a motion, second, and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Both same sign, motion for an executive session. You want to sign this in? Or do you take it?
Sorry to say by them, right?
Yeah.
We're fine. We'll get to the bottom of that.
well, are we moving to a different room or the same here?
We can just, I don't know. There's no other business after exec today, right?
Stand.
We stay in here.
I'm going home. I'll entertain a motion to come out of executive session.
Come out of executive session. Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Both same sign. Motion passes. We're in regular session.
We'll get adjourned.
Second. A motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Both same sign. Thank you.